Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the podcast. I'm so excited. If you're new, which most of you would be, I'm Helen and I'm a knitter and teacher from Southwest Ontario, and I love to knit and be creative in general. I accidentally posted my last knitting podcast. I didn't actually mean to post it officially, but here we are in episode 2. I was very tired when I filmed the last one after a day of working with children, but now it's summer. I've got more energy. I realize that I'm wearing like winter clothes right now, but it does feel like fall where I live right now. Weirdly, the climate is doing things. Who knows what, but things are happening in the world. I'm starting this video with a cup of iced nettle tea that I made with honey. Very good if you're in your follicular phase. The girls who get it. And it's in this cute little Alaska mug that I got from the thrift store. Have not been to Alaska, so I'm a bit of a poser, but I would like to go someday. My window is open, so if you hear any noise, you just are going to probably. So I hope you have something to drink and knit while you watch this video. And without further ado, we'll get started. I technically have 3 finished objects for you. Today, I have 1 whip to talk about and lots of acquisitions and plans, which is going to be a super fun part. I'm so excited to talk to you about that. Not to be an overconsumption diva, but like, you know, I'm using like slang for some reason today. I don't usually, but she's coming to me. I have 3 whips to talk about, and we'll talk about the one that I don't have here first, get the boring stuff out of the way. I finished a pair of socks for my brother last month for his birthday. His birthday was on July 4th. I finished them just in time, and they were with like in a lace sock yarn, which I believe is like an 80-20 kind of pretty classic blend. They were in the copper tide color, and I showed them in my last video, so if you want to see what they look like, you can go check that out. The reason I don't have them is he's working up at camp, so I sent them along with him before I could actually show them here, but I had a fully finished sock in my last one, so if you want to see the beautiful yarn, that's kind of a crazy color combination. I would never knit something for it myself, but it's cute for him and it's cute for socks, and it's beautiful yarn. It really is. The colors themselves are beautiful. It's just too vibrant for too vibrant in a certain tonal family than I would go for, because I love color, but I think I talked about this last time. I gravitate towards deep autumn colors. Am I deep autumn? Who's to say? But that's what I gravitate towards for sure. Now we will get on to my other 2 whips, my other 2 finished objects, which are much more exciting. These are 2 tops. One I would kind of classify as a vest, and I'll start with that one. This was my whip in my last video, and this is the Dune wrap top, or Dune wrap, from Sofia Scotford, and it's knit with this beautiful boucle yarn from Winston Fibers, which is just gorgeous. It's definitely super, I don't know what you call it, like it's very confetti. I wouldn't maybe want a sweater in it, but I think as a wrap top with a white t-shirt to kind of balance out the fun colors, I think it's super cute. So this is our wrap top, and you'll see pictures on the screen, but it basically, you knit it flat. You start with a back panel, then you join for the 2, you knit the front, one left side front and the right side front, and then you knit flat a whole bunch of stitches, which takes a long time, and then it's tied together with a little I-cord pair of ties, which are right here, which I think looks so cute in this yarn. I just think they're so cutie. But yeah, this yarn, I don't think it shows up, like on this camera, it shows up better than the pictures on Ravelry and that are gonna come up on the screen. But I just think this is such like beautiful, it looks a lot more orangey on Ravelry, but I just think it has like really beautiful little speckles, and you can definitely see where the skeins or hanks changed because it's hand dyed. I think you can tell the different sections. And if you remember, I either had run out of yarn. Whoa, sir. I either had run out of yarn in my last video or I was just about to. And so the lovely, lovely yarn maker, dyer from Winston Fibers, she delivered to my door a skein of the same colorway but in a fingering weight. So I held the fingering weight double to finish off the end and to do the little ties. So it's perfect. This pattern originally calls for a mohair and a boucle held together. I just did just the boucle. This is the most expensive garment I've knit to date. But I know I'm gonna get wear out of it. I'm gonna be a kindergarten teacher in the fall. So cute, so fun. And I just think this will be so cute, as you can see over a little white t-shirt. I put on the ties before I blocked it because I saw someone else had done that, and after I blocked it I realized maybe the tie was a bit too far back, but it's not like crazy. I think it's cute. I just think it's really cute, and yeah, I think this isn't, like, for most people, I don't know that this would be a super wearable piece, but I feel like for my job and just for the general vibes, I feel like this is great. And I'll probably style it with like some navy dress pants or like jeans, because I can't wear jeans on a daily basis at my school, but sometimes we get to for special occasions. And yeah, I'm really happy with this. It was super straightforward pattern, like there's no kind of finishing at the armholes or any of the like edges. And I just went in afterwards because I had dropped a stitch. Like knitting with boucle, I know people say it's very difficult. I didn't find it to be crazy, but you can drop stitches very easily because of the loops. And so I went back and I had dropped a stitch, so I kind of like just seamed up or sewed up that part with a tapestry needle. And there were some looser areas where I'd connected the front pieces to the back, so I just kind of seamed those up as well. But overall, yeah, I'm really happy with this. I think it's really fun, definitely like super unique, and I'm just excited to wear it as a teacher next year. I feel like it's like the perfect fun teacher thing to wear. My next little cutie thing that I just talked about as an acquisition last time, so we've been madly knitting, is the Mantaray by Sachiko Burgin. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly and appropriately. This is so fun. I'm already noticing a place where I have to reseam it, but we're not going to talk about that. This is the most complicated pattern I've knit to date, and it's probably not complicated for a lot of you who are watching, but it's my first time doing short rows, first time doing applied I-cord edging. I've done I-cord before obviously with this, but this was after I finished my brother's socks. I cast this on. Yeah, the Mantaray. This is a free pattern because which is so great. The designer hadn't offered it in a large size range, so she just made it free because she felt bad she couldn't grade it for more sizes. But this is what mine looks like. It kind of looks crazy because obviously, you know, it's not on, but you get the idea of the mantaray. It's called the mantaray top because it like has little wings that you tie in the back, which I will show you a couple pictures of on screen now. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's certainly, you could not say it's perfect in any way. You can probably even tell like I had some rowing out going on. I knit this in sandnes garn Lena, which is a pretty popular yarn, but if you don't know, it's mainly majority cotton, little bit of chunk of viscose, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's a majority cotton yarn with viscose and linen added. The original of this pattern is knit in 100% linen, which I'd love to try knitting in one day. But it's also a tape yarn, which I never heard of before and I didn't know till after, but yeah, it definitely, yeah, it's called for worsted weight, the pattern. And Lena from Sandnes Garn, or Lean, I don't know extremely how you pronounce it, but it's definitely a light worsted, or a D. Some people even say it's like a DK. So I sized down my needles from a 6mm, which is what the pattern called for, to a 5mm, which is actually what I sewed the dune wrap top in, or knit the dune wrap top in. This is still like a pretty loose gauge for the Lena. You can probably tell, like, it's enough that if I wear like a nude bra under it, I don't feel crazy, but like it's still a bit loose. Like I feel like I would knit this at like maybe a 4.5 or a 4. Like I feel like that could be cute too. This pattern is super easy to follow if you're more of an I would say like advanced beginner, intermediate. So I definitely had some trouble like reading over it, knowing where to pick up for the applied I-cord edge. If you're like a good knitter at all, you'll probably see that like this is not like the neatest ever, but I did redo it 7 times on one side, so I was doing my best. I also went back with like a needle and thread and tried to sew down the edging a little bit. And I did give this a block. The reason I didn't, so you can see like there's some tensioning issues in the front. The reason I didn't go back and knit those is, or re-knit them, is because with my Leela top, which I talked about in the last podcast, I had similar, like I had a couple rows where there were tensioning issues, and when I blocked them, they were fine. So I was like, okay, they'll probably block out. I had read a couple places that this blocked really nicely. I wouldn't say it blocks that much. I think you should still give it like 1 block, but it's not a yarn that blocks out a lot. So I just assumed that those things would block out, but they didn't, which is totally fine, and that's on me. But so I probably would have gone back, because I'm finding I'm a bit of a perfectionist when I knit. I feel like when I'm knitting something, it should look finished. I'm not just trying to get through knits to have fun or like enjoy the process. I'm definitely more of a project knitter. So yeah, I'm super happy with how this came out. It's wearable for me. There's definitely things that I know now from doing this pattern that will be super helpful in other patterns. This pattern is free, so it would be super easy for you to go look at this information, but I'll just explain kind of how it's knit. You start by doing the front, which is really nice because and it's bottom up as well. I've never knit a bottom up garment, so you know, lots of firsts. But you start at the bottom, you do all these increases, and then you're like boom, 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 like decreasing like crazy. And you get to the top, and then you do the back piece, you shape for the armhole, you do the I-cord edging, which is super interesting and almost like artistic how it's designed, where you start by doing one I-cord tie. Then you do the I-cord edging all the way up here till you get to the strap. Then you do it all the way back and then up, back through the armhole shaping over here. You cast off that those I-cord stitches, and then you start in the back on the other side, do the strap, go all the way down, and finish off with the tie. So it's almost like, it's very like, I don't want to say poetic the way you knit it, but it's very like fluid. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. The way you knit it is very fluid. And then you do a little like 1-inch seam where the armhole shaping ends on both sides. Now, I was off gauge when I did my 5mm needles. I was off gauge about 1 stitch and 1 row. Mine definitely turned out smaller than some of the other ones, but I really don't mind that. I didn't want it to be super loose and drapey. I knit it in the smallest size that it comes in, and I was looking at other people's projects because other people have knit it in Sandnes Garn Lena, and I don't know if I'm just like a loose knitter and that's why I had to go down, or I just didn't like the gauge, because I did check my gauge before I did this, and on 5.5mm needles I was making gauge, but I felt like the gauge was pretty loose. So I went down again. Yeah, I wanted it to be wearable for me. I didn't just want to knit it to gauge if that gauge wasn't going to be something wearable. And I think with the yarn that this piece is originally knit in, maybe the tape yarn like fills in the stitches more. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like a flatter yarn, so maybe it takes up more space in the individual stitches. I don't know if that makes sense at all. The original ones that were knit in Sandnes Garn Lena, the one that I looked at that I think was knit in the same size as mine, they used 4 balls, and I used 2.5 balls of yarn, or skeins of yarn. So I have some left over. I'm trying to think of what to do with it. I'm thinking maybe a bandana. There's a couple small bag patterns because I have a skein and a half, 165 yards-ish of yarn left, 165 yards left. And yeah, I'm just excited to see what I end up doing with it. I'm excited to wear this summer. I'm going on a trip to BC, and I think this will be super fun to wear. The fabric is super soft. I would definitely knit with Lena again, but maybe not a pattern that's at this loose gauge with short rows, because I did find that my short rows showed a lot. Maybe I'm not doing them right. I did really try to, I redid them a couple times to make sure, but I feel like with this gauge with short rows, it just didn't work super well. Yeah. So I'm super happy with this piece overall. I just think, yeah, it's so, you can see it's so drapey, and just, it doesn't feel like you're wearing anything when you're wearing it. Actually got a little cold in it in like 25-degree weather yesterday. So people are really just riding their motorcycles around these days. I really enjoyed working this up, and I liked the pictures I took in it, and I just think it's gonna be so fun to wear, and I love the color. The color that I knit it in is pearl gray, and I don't wear a lot of grays, but I think this is a really good neutral for me. And I had cute little linen-y brown fiber bits in it when I was knitting it, and I think it's a beautiful yarn. So yeah, I would love to knit something else in this color, but I'm scared of knitting too many things in the same color, because then I think they're too similar, I won't wear them. But I would do like a blouse #1 vibe, like a very straightforward knit in long sleeve summer knit in this, maybe at some point. So yeah, those are all my finished objects. Yeah, I'm so happy with my knitting right now. I just feel like I'm learning a lot. I'm watching so many knitting podcasts. If you have any recommendations for knitting podcasts, leave them down below because I'm always looking for new ones. But yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah, just especially this one, I just think I could wear this all the time. The next thing I want to talk to you about is my one whip. And I did talk about this whip last time, I think, in my video, but I've actually frogged it and started it over, and I just started it today, so it doesn't look like anything, but I'm working on the Lush lemonade socks from Stoneknits. This is my third time knitting them. Okay, so you can see it's just very small. I realized I wasn't on autofocus that whole time, but hopefully we were in focus enough. Yeah, so I'm just doing a 2x1 cuff. This is all over color work. There's like stripes, so I don't know if I guess that technically counts stranded color work. But yeah, I'm knitting this in, as I said last time, Kremka Soul Wool Edelweiss, which is an alpaca wool and nylon sock yarn, in the colors natural. This is a green color that I don't remember the name of, and there's a yellow color. So I'll talk about these more in my next podcast because I really want to get through these. I've been working on these since, I think, like January. I knit one sock. It was the first sock I'd ever knit. It was way too tight because of the color work. I kind of ruined it. I didn't think about frogging it. And then I knit a pair of vanilla socks, which you saw in the last video. And then now I'm working on these color work ones again. So, and I knit my brother a pair of socks. So I've knit some more socks. My tension is a lot better, I think. Not insane as Garnlina, but I think normally my tension will be a bit better. And I'm just excited to finally finish these because I've had the pattern for a while and I've been meaning to knit on them. And yeah, I just think they're gonna be super fun. As I said, I'm going on a trip to BC, and so I think taking this and working on the plane, and I'm also bringing another color work project that's smaller. And I just think this will be a really fun thing to be knitting around BC. The yarn is getting a bit ragged because I've frogged it a couple times. But third time's the charm. This is the attempt that will stick. I'm manifesting. I'm praying. So that's my only whip. I'm a pretty monogamous knitter, so you'll notice when I make these podcasts that normally I won't have a ton of whips to talk about, or if I do, they'll be kind of in their beginning stages. That won't always be the case because like I have maybe a knit along planned coming up, and I think there'll be some other patterns that I dip my toes into at certain points, but I plan pretty monogamously. My goal is to have like one project in a month. I think if I finished a year and I had like 12 or less finished objects, I would feel super happy with that, super pleased with that. Now I'm gonna get on to my acquisitions and my upcoming plans because I have a plan for each of these acquisitions. There's definitely things I buy that I don't have a plan for, but currently my stash is pretty small, and each, except for one skein and my scraps, each of my things has a plan for them. So I'm gonna go grab those. Another fun thing I did with my knitting before we get into acquisitions is I started a knitting journal, and I don't know if I'll keep up with this a ton, but I had these little journals lying around that I got for free on Indie Bookstore Day from a local bookstore, and I just thought I would start writing about my knits in them. So you can see this is for my mantaray. I still need to write a summary because I just finished the mantaray like a couple days ago, but I'm still gonna write kind of some notes there. And I have this sticker. I did a lot of the knitting on my mantaray top when I was at Martin River Provincial Park, which is about 5 hours up north from me, and that was a super fun thing too, to like have those memories tied to that knit. So that will be like a fun place just to keep little cutie notes, and hopefully collect stickers in there too of the places I go. So acquisitions. My next plan, my August project, because this was my July project and this was my, well, this was my May project. What was my June project? No, this was my June project, and then my May project was the Leela top. My August project is super exciting because I'm using some stash yarn. This is the Chico wool fingering. Okay, don't yell at me because I'm about to show you a very tangled mess of yarn. And now I wind all my hanks into cakes. Just myself. I don't have a ball winder. But this is very tangled, and I just want you to know I am reformed. This is my Celia Chico wool fingering, 100% finish wool, in the colorway Celia fingering weight. I apologize for your eyes seeing this. I am planning to knit with the remains of this and 2 other colors, the Midwinter Rose Mittens by Marit something that I can't remember her name right now, so I apologize. So I'm gonna use this. I want this to be the main color. I'm not sure I have enough for it to be the main color, but I'm just kind of like, you know, vibes. I'll just go for it, see what happens. And I'm holding it with, I recently made an order to, I try to get most of my yarn from local yarn shops. I just want to preface this, but I did order from like a more wholesale yarn website called Rido, because my teacher money hasn't come in yet. I'm starting my first full year of teaching and working next year, but I did order from a wholesale website and I got 2 skeins. This one already popped out. I swear, like, I did not do this. It just, I picked it up and it basically fell out immediately. But that color, which I feel like is called denim something, and this one is like by the ocean or something like that. This is Luna by Perman. This is 100% recycled wool. So is that one. And I think, if you'll pardon the tangled mess, I think these 3 colors are like, this is what I love about knitting, is I can make color schemes that I'm like, I wish I saw this in real life, because the colors are so deep and rich and I think they're gonna go so well together. But like, this is just gorgeous. Like, do you see this? Do you see what's going on here? Like, this is what I've dreamed of. So these are for the Midwinter Rose Mittens, and there's little flecks, which are so cute, in the 2 yarns by Perman, the Luna yarn. So that's 100% recycled wool. It's Okotex certified, non-mulesed wools. I don't know how you say that. It's this word. I don't know how you say that word, but it's very eco. There's lots of ecologically friendly vibes going on here. So I'm super excited. I think the label's cute. Like, this is just going to be so fun to knit. And you may be asking, why mittens in August? That's a story I'll save for another day. I'm not sure you guys are ready for how type C I am. I have enough for the mittens. I'm just not sure if I have enough of this to be the main color, but I really want it to be the main color. But if I knit the first one, I feel like I don't have enough, then I'll just do the other one with maybe the dark blue being the main color, because I feel like it would be cool to have different colored ones too. Just a little funky. So I'm really excited, and the color work pattern on that is beautiful. I just feel like it's so pretty. So that's my August project. Now, I try to plan 3 projects ahead. I don't know if I've already said that, but I try to plan 3 projects ahead. So I have August, September, and October planned, and I also have November and December planned. I know that just contradicts everything I said, but I have those planned because when I go to BC, I want to look for some yarn and I already have all the yarn that I need up until October, so I plan my November and December projects as well. So for my September project, I am making the treasure vest by Spektakelstrik. I hope that's how you pronounce that. I'm so excited to try Let Lopi by Iztex in the color Pine Green. And I'm holding it with Drops Kid Silk. This is a lot lighter, definitely, but the picture I saw that really inspired me of this vest had a lot of strong marling in it, and this Let Lopi has a lot of like little lighter flecks, so I thought it'd be cute to hold it with a lighter mohair, and I just think it'll be really pretty, and I'm really excited about it. I'm hoping to make this more of an oversized fit than a lot of the other patterns do, or the other finished projects have, but the picture that I saw that inspired me did make it in a lot of a drapier, kind of, not drapier, well, it was a bit drapier, but because of it was oversized. So this is like, it's a vest with a very like deep V, and I think it'll be so cute to wear over like a little white t-shirt. I have a funny story attached with this yarn. I got this from a really, I think my favorite yarn store, which is a little bit farther from me, but it has a lot of good stock in it. And I bought 4 skeins of this, or 4 skeins, 4 cakes, whatever they're called, of this, and 2 of these, because obviously the mohair has a lot more yardage. And I brought this to show someone on a date I was going on. I know I sound like a fun date showing yarn to everyone, but hey, he hasn't left me yet. I brought these 2 yarns to show the person I was going on a date with, and while we were on our date, this fell out of my bag, and so I had to order a replacement skein. And I looked everywhere, like I retraced our steps the day after, but I wasn't able to find it. So I think, yeah, I'm just gonna be super careful in the future to not do that. But I think because this is so rustic, it's like Icelandic wool, and this is so fluffy, I think that they'll be really nice paired together. And I'm really excited for that. And then the last project that I'm so excited about is the ginger sweater by Dorothy, officiers, maybe? And this is going to be my first cable project. It's not my first sweater project. I have a sweater that I'm not super happy with because I didn't understand tension, not tension, but like gauge, wool, weight. I didn't even think about like you know, natural fibers versus non-natural fibers. And so I'm excited to be knitting another sweater project, but it's also an all over cable pattern. Now there's only one cable, so my friend Alana, whose podcast will link down below because she's way better than me at knitting, and you should go watch her, she said it would be pretty easy as a first cable project. So the ginger sweater, I'm knitting this in Drops Air in the color light beige, and I just think that is beautiful. Yeah, I love the heathering or like really subtle marling that's in there. I think it's gonna be so pretty knit up. I know that this has like polyamide in it, and I wish, I actually was looking this morning and I was like, ooh, maybe I should have gone with, there was a yarn that was recommended in the pattern called Puno Garn Fine or something like that, and it's also a blown yarn, but it has a cotton core. I don't think this has a core technically. It's cotton instead of polyamide. But this is more affordable, and I have to be realistic, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of this because it's my only sweater project that I have this year. I'll only have knit one sweater and a lot of vests, so this will be my only sweater. So it's kind of, yeah, I don't know, if you think about it that way, maybe I should have gone for the bougier yarn, but I just think, I know I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of this. So my vision for this sweater is I really want it to be super oversized and drapey, like almost at the point where I feel like I'm wearing a tent when I wear it. So I'm knitting it for me in I think the large size, and I know this is alpaca too, so it might really stretch out, and I am nervous about blocking it because some people said they don't even block drops air. And I did hear a bad review for this yarn like the day after I got it in the mail. But I'm just hoping, I'm just hoping for the best. And people have knit this sweater in drops air. I only like really one of the projects I've seen of this sweater in drops air, but I don't know. I just feel like I can do it. Which is super naive of me to say, I know, but I feel like it's gonna be cute, and the color's so pretty, so I just feel like it'll be good. And I've never worked with the blown yarn, so I'm excited for that. And I just think it's just gonna be so fun. Like, this is such like a cute October spooky, like imagine knitting this, listening to a cozy mystery in the fall with like hot chocolate, or knitting it while you watch Halloween Town. Like, I'm so excited for that. So I'm just so excited to do this project. It cost me under $100 when I ordered this from Rito, even with the shipping. I think I ordered the 2 skeins of Luna Permin, a replacement skein of the Drops Kid Silk Mohair, and 10 balls of this, and it came to about 110 Canadian, which is really affordable. It's still expensive, I know, but if I think those are 3, okay, I added the cost of this in store, and I spent about $170 for yarn for 3 months. That's like 90 days approximately of knitting. That's paying under $2 a day for my hobby. And so if this is my main hobby that I'm doing, and I'm paying about $2 or less a day to do my hobby, that's like, I would say that's a pretty good deal. So I'm just looking at it that way. I know I'll buy more yarn when I go to BC for my November and December projects, which I won't tell you what the patterns are because you'll have to wait, but they are another vest and a pair of socks. So yeah, I am excited about that. And I'm just this is probably the project that if it turns out well, I'll just be over the moon. The person that inspired me to knit a sweater that's so large and drapey and like a little like tent moment is Phoebe from Midsummer Night Studios. Some of her sweaters are just so large, but it's just like, it's almost elegant because it's like, do I even exist? Am I a form? Like, I'm just like an ethereal phantasm at that point in a sweater so large. So I'm excited for this, and I'm excited for this color too because I don't have a lot of things in this kind of light beigey color. So I don't know if it'll go well with my skin tone, but we'll see. That's what knitting's all about, is just trying different things. So I'm so excited for all my upcoming projects. I'm so excited for the mittens I'm gonna knit. Those colors are so beautiful, and to finally finish my lemon socks because they've been a bit of a monkey on my back. So yeah, I'm just really excited. I'm excited to try like different yarns. I haven't tried drops before. I haven't tried Let Lopi or anything from Istex or Etex, I don't know. And yeah, I'm just really excited. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be fun, and you're gonna see my BC yarn haul in the next podcast episode. So if you're not gonna subscribe for any other reason, just subscribe for that because I'm excited. Yeah, and subscribe to see my next 3 knits. So by the next episode, I should have a pair of lemonade socks or lemon socks, a pair of midwinter rose mittens, and my treasure vest finished for you. So I'm so excited for you guys to see all that. tell me what you're knitting on right now in the comments below. And also if you have any BC travel tips, because I would love to hear that from you guys if you've been there before. That's all for now. I'll see you when I finished my next 3 knits.